Welcome and Shabbat Shalom. I'm Danny Marshall, a rabbinical student, and I am filling in for Rabbi Alfie this week and next week, and was supposed to be with Cantor Julie along with Michael, and unfortunately Cantor Julie couldn't make it this evening. She's just feeling a little under the weather, nothing to worry about, but she sends her best to everyone. So to everyone here tonight in the synagogue, welcome to everyone at home online. Tonight is Shabbat, and Shabbat is a time to catch our breath. Whatever we've been doing, making, creating, no matter how necessary our work, how important to the world, how urgent that we continue it, no matter how joyful our work, how fully and profoundly human. Tonight we pause to catch our breath and to breathe in the quiet joy of Shabbat as we join Michael in the Shabbos Nigun.
Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein jeden Shabbos. Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos auf die ganze Welt. Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos auf die ganze Welt. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Ya la 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 la.
Take a deep breath. Our quiet joy gives way to ecstatic delight as we imagine ourselves dressed all in white and dancing out into the fields, calling, "Come, my beloved, welcome the bride." Let us receive the radiant face of Shabbat. So together on page 138, we find Lachadodi, and we'll do verses 1, 3, 5, and 9. Please join in.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zechor v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu gam yuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, L'shem el tiferet meliti la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki he mekor havracha, מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מחשבה תחילה לה 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 לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי בעורף קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני היה נגלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהולה תוך כמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לה 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 לך לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We bring in Shabbat with the lighting of the Shabbos candles, which can be found on page 120. But we begin first with Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hashari, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem L'Shalom Malachi Hashalom Malachi Elyon Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Amen.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Amen. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hashem. That's the wrong verse. Barchuni l'shalom Malachi Hashem Malachi Elyon Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seichem l'shalom Malachi Hashalom Malachi Elyon Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
With such beautiful playing and singing, Michael. I think God will forgive that. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And our blessings give us strength and make our visions clear. And our blessings give us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Please rise and turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Amvorach. Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. Out of deep center, night passes through. Gates open, seasons change. Stars swirl on their eternal pathways through the light. Light to dark to light spins the glorious heavenly array. This too is the name of Yud-He Vav-He, living and eternal until the end of time. A fountain of blessing are you, endless one, who blends the light of the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ma'ariv aravim. Our core prayer of the Shema is surrounded by love. God's love for us before the Shema, and our love for God after the Shema. We begin with Ahavat Olam on page 150, and then we'll continue with the Shema on page 152 and the Ve'ahavta on 154.
Who knows how long I've loved you? Who knows I love you still? I could wait a lonely lifetime. If you want me to, I will. For if I ever saw you, I didn't catch your name, but it never really mattered. I will always feel the same. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, your song will fill the air. Sing it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do endear you to me. Ah, you know I will. La da 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 da, da 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 da, la da 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 da. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam ba'am b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. We're on the top of page 157, and please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha, page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. די 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 די
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Nighttime can be frightening, especially in difficult or uncertain times, which is certainly where we find ourselves these days. And it is for this that we turn each night to God and pray to be sheltered under wings of peace. And so together, please turn to page 160 for the Hashkivenu.
guide my steps. Help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
Please turn to page 162 for Vishamru. Vishamru is the prayer, it is the song, it is the chant, whatever you do, that says, we as a people Israel will keep Shabbat. This is our brit, our covenant, our commitment.
Veshamru b'nei Israel ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו, I'm singing the verses out of order. בני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise and together turn to page 164 for the Amidah, the Tefillah, our standing prayer.
Adonai sefatai tita ufi argi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Al tarav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Zomet noflim verofet olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh emunato Vishenei afar Mi kamocha bal gevurot Umidom elach Melech meli Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lechayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehelu chasercha. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated or remain standing, as is your custom, for the prayers from page 170 to 180, or you may wish simply to close your eyes and focus on the silent prayers of your heart.
Nasi shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Nasi shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Let the light of your presence be the light of our lives. Grant us happiness, mercy, and peace. May the people of Israel join hands with the world, and our passion for justice increase. Nasim shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Nasim shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Let the light of your Torah be the light of our dreams. Grant us goodness, grant us blessings and love. May our yearning for peace be a blessing for the world, as the olive branch soars with the dove. Nasi shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Nasi shalom tova uveracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim.
Thank you, Michael. That really hit home tonight. I don't know if it hit home for you, but it really hit home for me. And it was beautiful. So at this time, we turn our thoughts and our prayers to those friends or loved ones who are ill or suffering. And we also pray for all of those that we don't know who are suffering in body or in soul. And we hold them all in our hearts. When we think of people who are ill and suffering, we usually think in terms of body illness, and there is much of that out there. And I also think in terms of mental illness. And since COVID began, the increase in mental illness, in suicide rate, especially among young people in our country, has skyrocketed. So if we can hold this space and along with all of our personal friends and families that need our prayers, if we can hold all of those young people who are suffering in this time, as we turn to page 371 for the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah Verachel. May the ones who blessed our mother, may the one who blessed our father, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Berach Avotenu, Misha Berach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
May they have a refuah shlema, a complete healing of body and soul. And let us all say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I grew up in a home with no Jewish holidays. My parents were quite assimilated and did not affiliate with a synagogue, nor were they Zionists with a strong identification to Israel. They were Jew-ish, but mostly they were American. My dad's favorite holiday was July 4th. I remember how exciting it was for me as a little girl to put up our flag with him on the 4th and to celebrate with neighbors while watching the fireworks. More than anything else, my dad loved being an American. When I was in 7th grade, we moved from the inner city of Chicago to the northern suburb of Deerfield, right next to Highland Park, Illinois. Highland Park was mostly Jewish and liberal, and some of my friends from high school lived there. 2 weeks ago, on July 4th, I was in a class on Zoom for my rabbinical studies, and after a break, one of my fellow students returned in tears and highly distraught with news of the mass shootings in Highland Park, Illinois, her hometown. You can imagine how shocking it was for me also. With all the mass shootings these past 2 years, none has hit so close to home for me. I keep thinking of my father, who loved our democracy more than anything, and how he would have been sickened and pained by the loss of innocent lives and the desecration of our democracy on the day of its celebration. In this week's Torah portion, Balak, the king of Moab, becomes fearful when he hears the Israelites are heading towards his country on their way up from Egypt to the land of Canaan. So he gets the elders of Midian, another country in the region, to partner with him to destroy the Israelites. They go to hire the famous non-Jewish prophet Balaam to come with them to curse the Israelites. Balaam consults with God, who says, "No, don't go," and so he refuses to go at first. But King Balak and the elders come and ask him again, offering to pay more money to him. And Balaam asks God again, and this time God says, "All right, go, but only if you say what I tell you to say." So Balaam sets out with King Balak and the elders of Midian, and then God gets angry. So we might ask, why did God get angry when God had said it was all right for Balaam to go with them? Well, the sages of the Talmud tell us it was because Balaam really wanted to curse the Israelites and earn the reward from the king of Moab, and he was hoping to somehow get around and evade God's command not to curse them. When God confronts Balaam with his anger in the middle of the road on the way, Balaam decides to comply. And instead of cursing the Israelites as the king of Moab expects, he blesses them. Or rather, God blesses the Israelites through him. Balaam looks upon the Israelite camp and says these words that should be very familiar to all of you from our liturgy. Ma tovu oalecha Yaakov mishkanetecha Yisrael. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. What an extraordinary and strange parashah. As the Israelites journey up from Egypt to the Promised Land, we witness many battles with other nations. And all of those battles are with swords, not words. Only in this parashah do words wage a battle. For in Balaam blessing the Israelites, the nations of Moab and Midian failed to stop the Israelites from conquering them. The sages of the Talmud tell us that in this parashah, the Torah is teaching us that words can be more powerful than swords. Words can kill and destroy like swords. However, words can also sustain and elevate. After all, as the sages taught in Pirkei Avot, the whole world was created in 10 utterances, which means that 10 times in Genesis, the Torah uses the phrase, Vayomer Adonai, and God said. And thus, what makes reality as we know it is God's will expressed in words. That we humans can speak is part of being made in God's image. In Torah, we see many examples of how words can be used for good. Just a few weeks ago in Parashah Baha'alotacha, we experienced the power of words in Moses' prayer to God to heal his sister. In 5 short words, El Na Rafana La, Moses prayed for Miriam's healing, and God heard his prayer and answered it. On the other hand, in this week's parashah, we witnessed the threat of curses, of words that could bring destruction upon a whole people. And yet, we also witness how God turns the potential of damaging words into words of blessings. How do you experience the power of words to heal or to hurt? Take a moment and think about a time that you said something to someone that lightened their burden, elevated their spirits, or helped them not feel alone. When the words you chose to use healed a hurt or mended a breach in a relationship. Or think of a time when someone said something that buoyed you in a difficult time or made you felt seen, acknowledged, or heard. It is in these moments that we recognize the power of holy speech. Now, think of a time when the words you said caused pain, embarrassment, or shame. Or when someone said something to you that hurt your feelings, or caused you to doubt yourself, or caused a rupture in your relationship. Or maybe you found out that someone had spoken derogatorily about you to another person. What we call lashon hara, evil speech or gossip. In Judaism, we are taught that when we destroy a person's reputation, we destroy the person. I think about the rhyme many of us were taught when we were little. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I think most of us learned in adolescence that this is simply not true. Words do hurt, and sometimes can hurt much more than broken bones. People, especially children and adolescents, can be traumatized by the words launched at them by a parent or a peer. We know that the proliferation of negative and attacking words on social media among adolescents has caused a significant rise in self-harm and suicide attempts in recent years. Words are powerful. Like God, how we use our words creates reality. Okay, so you may be thinking, that's true, but words don't really kill anyone like guns do. Words did not kill the people in the more than 308 mass shootings this past year in our country. Words did not kill the parents of the 2-year-old survivor 2 weeks ago in Highland Park, nor the 6 people killed in downtown Sacramento 3.5 months ago. Guns killed them, not words. You might think, if we just get rid of assault rifles and regulate the sale of guns, then these murders will stop and people won't die. And now I do agree we need to regulate the sale of guns and outlaw assault rifles. That certainly will help. But it is not the whole solution. Of those more than 300 mass shootings in the last year, many were motivated by hate and fanaticism, spurred on by words spoken on TV or in rallies or written in social media, spreading lies and generating fear. And these words of fear and prejudice often land on the most vulnerable to such messages. The question that arises for me is, how can we use our words for good to battle violence and hate, to spread love and understanding and create peace? Some thoughts come to mind. We can speak truth to power and support those in power who will continue the fight for gun control and for regulations on social media. We can speak out against celebrities and candidates that subscribe to generating fears and lies. We can educate our children and teenagers about the dangers of social media and how to stand up to bullies and how to recognize the insidious lies. We can reach out and create dialogue among other vulnerable groups and build coalitions, holy coalitions. We can use our words to speak truth, to bring love and healing, so that one day we can say to all Americans, not only those of our faith, Ma tovu ohalecha, Ma tovu mishkanotecha. How good are your tents, how good are your dwelling places. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Well, we have our president here this evening. So Josh, will you please honor us to come up and read the announcements?
So what's new?
I don't know. I'll try to use words that are positive and good tonight. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, Michael, for leading us in prayer tonight. Shabbat Shalom. Tonight after our services, there'll be an oneg out in the courtyard. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Torah study on Zoom. This coming week, Camp Nefesh is running the day camp for refugee kids that was founded by CBI Teens. They are looking for adult volunteers, especially for driving campers and for a couple other positions to and from camp. Check out the Hadashot and the Camp Nefesh website if you can help with that. There are 2 more sessions of Camp Shalanu. Visit the website for details. They're taking signups. The CBI Adult B'nai Mitzvah class is going to be starting in September. So if you did not become a B'nai Mitzvah in your youth, you have a chance now to. It's a wonderful program that's going to be offered this fall. Next Friday, we'll be right back here for Shabbat evening services with Cantor Steinberg and Danny Deutsch Marshall again. And that's all I have tonight, so Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for being here. So tonight we record with sorrow the passing of Kenneth. Oh, I'm so sorry. Not yet. Please turn to page 586 for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית,
Please rise.
שלא עשנו כגיא הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. ואלוהינו אין עוד אלוהים Efesulato, Kakatu, Betorato, Vayadata Hayom, Vehashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai, Uha Elohim, Bashamayim, Bima'al, Ve'al ha'aretz, Ve'al ha'aretz, Mitachat Einod, Ve'nemar, Ve'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo echad.
And now you may be seated. And now we turn our thoughts to those who have passed. And this week we record with sorrow the passing of Kenneth Mapson, the beloved father of Victoria Mapson. And may his memory be a blessing. We also recall those who passed in prior years at this time. We remember Stella Fleischman Cohen, Ida Mintz Cohen, Betty Davis, Alice Ducour, Morris Edel, Ruth Ann Edelstein, Shirley Everett, Sidney Goldberg, Donald Goldstein, Nathan Gordon, Anna Gross, Leonard Herscher, Antoinette Himmelreich, Silas Himmelreich, Hyman Horowitz, Elizabeth Hurwitz, Marcia Koretsky, Samuel Kos, Sarah Kos, Erwin Krasnow, Stracy Laws, Morton Levy, Alfred Lorenzo, Annette Maris, Louis Novick, Jean Patel, Milton Rosemore, Barnard Rosenberg, Saul Rosenthal, Sarah Saracen, Ruth Scholder, Leigh Steffens, Ray Sullivan, Sandra Sunada, Milton Swartz, Raina Tochterman, Joe Vasquez, Rebecca Warhaftig, and Moses Warhaftig. And if there are other names for those of you who are here that you want to say this evening, please do. Thank you. So if you're here or at home and saying Kaddish for someone tonight, I invite you to rise. And together we say, Hamakom Yinechem Etchem B'tok Sha'ar Avalei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And together as a community we rise to support them, and for all who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And the Kaddish is on page 598 together. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra hirotei v'yamlik milchutei, B'chayachon uv'yomechon, uv'hayei dekol Beit Yisrael, Ba'adla zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam umei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalau, shemei dekudisha, brihu. Le'ela minko birhata v'shirhata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen.
Say shalom,
Bimromav.
hu ya'aseh
Say shalom.
aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
Yisrael.
v'imru.
Bimru. Amen. And you may be seated. So we'll finish up with our final song, and then Kiddush and Motzi and a wonderful oneg. Dean always brings wonderful things for our oneg, and those of you at home, our hearts and our souls go out to you as well.
So I have a little something to say about this song. I used to wait and find out what the drash was going to be about, and then I would pick a song that fit the theme of the drash. Now I just pick a song that I like, and I try to figure out a way to make it sound like it's consistent with the drash. It's much more creative that way. So this is a song about peace. And the thing that's interesting about the word for peace, everybody knows the word in Hebrew for peace is shalom. And the word for peace in Arabic is salam. But there's a way of thinking about peace from a much more exclusionary kind of view, that peace will come into the world when everyone has become a true believer of the true faith. So when everyone in the world believes in the true God of the people of Israel, then the Messiah will come, and the Messiah will bring peace. Same belief system exists in Islam, that peace will exist in the world when everyone has accepted Allah as their true God. But salam and shalom also have to do with inner peace, personal peace, not peace in the world. That's a little bit beyond most of our ability to effectuate. We can do our little piece of the puzzle. But we're all responsible for our own sense of peace. And the word that's related to peace in Hebrew is shalem, which means wholeness. So when you try to think about how you're going to bring peace into your world, think about your own peace of mind. And I hope you'll sing this song with me, because it's very simple. I'm going to sing it once, and then the second time you can sing it with me. Peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me. Peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace. Bring peace to come. Let it begin with me. Oh, peace. Peace will come. And let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. That was beautiful, Michael, and it really did connect very well, creatively to the drash. Thank you. All right.
Little motzi, little
Kiddush.
kiddush.
And then Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai. Is that the right blessing? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim u'shalom u'rachamim.
Dean did really well with that.
Whoosh. Baruch ta Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.